Our story begins now in Ernest. If Ernest was the name of New York City, which it isn't. I think Fred would be a good name for a city, but instead, let's begin as the Four Elementals, a group of scientist friends, meet at the home of Hiram Blud, their leader and lead elemental. He has called them together for dire reasons.
Enough talk of Nut and Meg. I call to order this conclave. I've summoned the Four Elementals, and I, Hiram Blud, call us to order. There is something afoot, and it cannot wait for—
Actually, no, let's not start there. Sorry, stories are funny things. Let us begin with a different member of the Four Elementals, one Eugene Neddly, and his trip earlier that day down at the East River docks.
Oh, it's crowded here. Oh, excuse me. Pardon. Oh, that's a lot of— pardon. Let me just squeeze by. Oh, they don't call these the docks for nothing. So much work to pick up a package. Maybe this way?
Package, indeed. For isn't life a package in its own way? For Eugene, the package was marked urgent, because as the new century was about to turn, our country was facing ecological peril. Eugene was often found with his relatively long nose in a book or watching birds from his West Side brownstone. The New York of 1896 was not a nature lover's paradise, but Eugene wanted to change that. And he had a plan. Was it a stupid plan? Sure. But most plans are. Invading Russia in winter, defending the Alamo, electing James Buchanan. But sometimes it works, especially when you have a big heart and a sharp mind. Eugene had one of these, and he wore that heart on his sleeve, along with several stains of which he just noticed.
Oh, is that gravy? Nope. That's mud. Let's see. I've come down here so many times and I never remember. Is this slip 12? Sir, is this slip 12?
What's it say there?
Slip 12.
Vast. Does it now? I'm illiterate, so I always wondered.
The problem is, everything is labelled slip 12. It's very confusing.
Purposely so. It's to confuse the bald weevil, the scallywag who's raiding ships from here to Perth Amboy.
Why is he doing that?
Legend says he was a free silver populist who, after the Panic of 1893, lost everything, and then avowed to maraud until the government ends the greatest issue of our day, the Bland Allison Act.
Of course. The fallout from the Bland Allison Act is well known. It's vital to our everyday lives at this time in history, 1896, and people will always be talking about it. That's terrible, but still crime is bad. He shouldn't do crimes. I hope never to hear about this boll weevil again.
I hope we do hear of him. Learning be a fruitful use of our modern times. Wilful ignorance be not my bailiwick. Too many knickerbockers don't know nothing. I blame Barnum, but, well, I don't.
Also, he's dead.
Exactly what he wants you to think, eh? Wink, wink.
Wink what?
Vast. Give me your invoice, so that I may retrieve your cargo.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on that woodcock.
How do you know I had a peg dick?
A what?
A fish took me manhood. For you see, it's—
Oh, no, please don't finish that sentence. A woodcock is— It's a bird. And when I said, there's no good way to end this.
And soon, after a bit more sputtering, the cargo was retrieved. I'm not sure how an illiterate longshoreman reads an invoice, but anyway, Eugene was given a small crate with several holes drilled into it. He was giddy as he looked inside.
They seem to be mostly alert. Good. Ow! One pecked me through the hole.
Vast. Sign here, then.
You say that a lot.
Vast. It's a nervous habit. You see, I'm really a shy lad.
I understand that. And this cargo, you ask?
I didn't.
This is the final box of birds for my big bird launch. I've created a wonderful event. I'm going to release every bird mentioned in Shakespeare into Central Park. I've already got most. There's starlings, ravens, pigeons.
Eugene spent the next several minutes listing birds in the plays or sonnets in which they could be found.
2 peacocks.
Stop saying things.
And now, finally, these woodcocks. But it wasn't all smooth birding. Several of them did not survive the shipping process. But I'm storing them all at the Acclimatization Society of North America headquarters. I'm the vice treasurer.
Avast! Sounds like one of the many groups of science-loving weirdies prancing around our fair city, stinking it up with chemicals and equations. Avast!
Well, we do love our sulfur. I'm part of several coteries pursuing noble pursuits. But most important, I'm one of the 4 elementals. Perhaps you've heard of us? Gadflies of the ologies and isms.
Avast, I know none of that. My wife be too jealous. Once, she punched a mule. And old Sal and I were only doing some light kissing. It was for a play, but she didn't cotton to none of my reasonings.
I should get these birds ready. The big release will be a fizzing good time if you'd like to come.
Not even a little.
Well, I shall leave one of these flyers about it here. Get it? Flyer? Bird release? Clever? Me? Nothing? Fair enough. Well, now, I'll just walk through this impoverished slum via that dark alley and catch a cab.
And though his head was mostly empty, his heart was full. Eugene whistled as he walked, the bird release dominating his every thought. So much so that he didn't even notice an angry young woman who he bumped into.
Watch it, Macintosh!
Sorry, hot birds coming through.
Oh, what a puss on that mug. What's he so happy about?
Sorry, she's not important to this story. I'm not even sure why I mentioned her. This is a story about the 4 elementals. Whew, sorry. Okay, I'm great. This is tricky. Now, let us meet another elemental, Maryanne Blud, as she delivers a chapbook of poems to her editor.
Have you made those changes?
Some. Though I'd rather not rhyme fungus with cowabungus.
Listen, poetry is about selling. Poetry is junk entertainment for the masses. You know that. Additionally, the Cowabungus Corporation will give us a halfpenny each time we work their name into a poem. Money, darling, money.
Still, though, I mean...
All the best writers do it. Poe, Hawked Raven's brand hair oil and then Nevermore Snails guarantee. Lincoln worked in 3 references to Baxter's boots into the Gettysburg Address. Are you better than Lincoln?
The poem is a meditation on the death of General McClellan. Does it honor his memory and service, saying, his heroism was mighty, his deeds spread like a fungus. Have you seen the latest great products from Cowabungus? I feel like it's...
Feel. That's the female problem. You feel too much. I feel with my hands. And you know what I want to feel? Greenbacks.
Fine. I do need the money. I have some irons in the fire. And I need to keep the flames well funded. Cowabungus it is.
Great. I'll get these galleys to the printer.
But if one person would take me seriously...
But she was a poet, and her friends were scientists. Poets were notoriously looked down upon by the scientific set. Elsewhere, the last of the 4 elementals, Anjus Troop, was at the botanical gardens overseeing the planting of newly arrived rubber trees.
Air layering is the best way to propagate a rubber tree.
Yes, Mum.
It's Dr. Anjus Troop.
Sorry. What's her deal?
What do you mean?
Well, her right eye is milky white and blind. It's surrounded by this whole big web of scars.
You don't know what happened to the right eye of Dr. Anjus Troop?
No.
Me neither, but it must have been bones crazy.
What about her left hand?
What do you mean?
Well, she covers it with a glove, but you can tell by the lack of movement, the loud thunk, that it's a prosthetic.
Wait, you don't know what happened to the left hand of Dr. Anjus Troop?
No.
Me neither. But it must have been Bug's nuts.
How is it a woman can even be a doctor?
You don't know how she became a doctor?
No.
Me neither, but it must have been hooky kooky.
And what about her...
I can hear you.
Knives!
I'm right here.
Oh.
Garden faster, chum.
It's no wonder I prefer plants to people.
Indeed, there was a lot of mystery around Anjus, but she didn't mind. She kept her life private. One could almost say, mysterious. But now, let us return to the home of Hiram Blud as night sets on New York City. The rats scurry, looking for trash. From the second-floor window of his brownstone, Hiram Blud watches one of the rats.
Huh. Rats off to you.
He says to himself as he closes the curtains of his study. His study is a study in fish. All the treasures of the sea have been trawled up and then stuck to the walls. Hiram checked his mutton chops in a squid-shaped mirror. It was hard to keep them even. The right side looked a little off. But before he had time to do anything about it, his sister Maryanne pushed her way into his study.
Eugene and Anjus are here, but...
This is serious business, Maryanne, and... A moment. I was eating algae earlier, and it stuck in my teeth.
Why were you eating algae?
To understand fish, you must eat like a fish.
I don't think that's true.
You're a student of the soft arts, not the hard sciences. You need not eat a poem to write one.
And yet, who won that haiku eating contest?
You have always supported me. My mission, but...
You will not support me.
You're my sister. There's a type of sea cucumber I used to collect for old man Grovers. Grovers would pay 10 half-quarter pennies for a bucket. This was when I was first doing research at Buzzards Bay, which...
Are you about to compare me to a sea cucumber?
Favorably.
Do not compare me to a sea cucumber.
Spoken like a true sea cucumber. For you see...
Is that smoke coming from the parlor? Hold on.
Maryanne grimaced. She knew what the others thought of her. Her blue eyes sparkled as her nose sniffed the air. It was no wonder Eugene loved her. Speaking of Eugene, he was in the parlor, waiting for Hiram to finish his algae floss.
Ooh, a model of a ship! Oh, I guess that comes apart. Let's put that back on the... Why, that's no good. Maybe...
What are you doing?
Nothing, Anjus. Shelves aren't like they used to be. All broken.
Is that so?
Anjus Troop frowned. She narrowed her milky white right eye and then tapped her artificial left hand. She always narrowed her eye and tapped her hand when she was annoyed with Eugene. Thus she did this quite often.
It's just... I can fix it. So let's just... mess into the fireplace.
That smoke looks toxic.
I'll just put it out with... Ooh, sleeve is on fire. Ow. Ow.
What is going on in here?
Just a small fire. Not like the fire that burns in my heart. Heartburn. You are burn. Ow. Ow. Ow.
I'll get the fire pail.
Fire pail? Pales in comparison to the bucket of your face? Oh, she's already gone.
Well done. Have you heard of the gentle touch? Subtlety?
My dear Anjus, I am the very model of subtlety. I'm so subtle, I'm sub-subtle. Sub-sub-subtle. They call me sub-sub-sub. Who's there? Oh, it's old sub-sub-sub. Sub.
That why you flush at the mere sight of Maryanne?
Flush? What? Maryanne who? Oh, Maryanne Blud, the woman with the best ankles in all of the eastern seaboard, whose poems strike my ears like naughty mittens? I don't know what you mean. Love her? Who said that? The wind? Shut up, wind, you crazy breeze. Wow, it's hot in here. Are you hot? Is it hot in here?
You were just on fire.
Fire indeed. Fire in our bellies. Passion! So speaks me, Hiram Blud, and... What is that burnt smell? Oh, the fireplace is...
On it!
Maryanne, who has entered with a fire pail and a plate of cookies. She deftly places the cookies on the table, then douses the flames with the fire pail.
Problem solved. Also, I baked cookies. Here we go.
Chipped chocolate and a cookie. This must be a serious matter.
Delicious and deadly, like a tiger in lipstick.
Indeed. Striped and saucy.
Though maybe too much nutmeg.
Enough talk of nut and meg. I call to order this conclave. I've summoned the 4 elementals, and I, Hiram Blud, call us to order. There is something afoot, and it cannot wait, for you see, I must tell you this grave news without haste. Except that decorum demands that we do an official roll call, and all sign the logbook. Maryanne, the logbook!
Duty bound, I pass around the book. Sign here. Sign here. Sign here. And there we go. Witnessed. Stamps. Stamp here. Stamp here. Stamp here. There. Initials.
Initial faster! This cannot wait!
Don't rush me. I get nervous and write all R's. Oh, I did it again. Damn this nervous R condition. If only my name were RRRR. Then I'd be fine.
And now the check marking of the names. We have been checked and marked. Proceed, Hiram.
Hooray! Good. This news is earth-shattering, so we will get to it right after the auditory roll call. For elements, assemble your thoughts, and for the good of the world, consider your talents, and then release your power of speech in letting us know who you are. Dramatic pause. First, I am Hiram Blud, sailor of the 7 seas, the Great Lakes, the Lesser Lakes, the Worthless Lakes, and even the pond of some note. My love of anglerfish is well known, as is my fear of zebra coral. I've named 32 species of fish and once kept a baby eel alive by feeding him from my own belly button. Here I stand before you, humbly. Hiram Blud, Master of Water.
I am Anjus Troop, Mistress of Fern and Stem. Twice award-winning in categories of green botany and brown botany. Both of those. I lost my perfect facial beauty to the cruelest flora. I've cut through jungles and grew the great stalk that saved Philadelphia from a tiny seed. Flowers bend toward me. Here I stand, humbly. Anjus Troop, Mistress of Earth.
I am Maryanne Blud, wielder of the red-hot pen of poetry. I have spilled the ink of my heart across my 7 bestsellers, 3 very good sellers, and 2 should-have-sold-betters. I've chronicled my brother Hiram's travels in my seminal sonnet, Sea Shanty. Shan't I see? I've melted the heart of a czar with a limerick. I penned a verse that made President Grant hazy, and President Hayes grant me a wish. Here I stand, humbly, Maryanne Blud, Mistress of Fire.
Huh? Oh, right, the, Ow! Table! Let me just... I'm good. No one help.
We weren't.
Great, I'm... chocolate in my lungs. Breathing is... cocoa. Okay, there. Good, I'm good. I am Eugene Neddly, Master Birder. I know all the birds of Audubon by their secret names. I once hid in a large wooden decoy to watch the mating dance of the shyest duck, the noggin duck. The Trojan quack I called the decoy. I once stalked a stork and took the place of a baby eagle to be raised by a mother eagle to learn the secrets of eagles and have a caring mother. Mrs. Flaps, I called her. She called herself Scree, Scree. But that's eagles for you. Always Scree, Scree. Whereas hawks are all like Scraw, Scraw. Hawks and eagles, will they ever get along? No. Oh, and reminder, big bird released broadsides. Oh, sorry, they're crumpled. They were in my pocket. Have one. Take one. There you go.
Yes. Why are they wet?
I have a medical-grade dampness.
Oh, the great Shakespeare bird release. How many survived?
Most. You like Shakespeare, right, Maryanne?
He was talented. For a bald man.
Eugene, finish, so we can start.
Oh, right. Here I stand humbly. Eugene Neddly, Master of...
What the devil is so important?
Problems, my friends. We are plagued by them, and perhaps me more than most. Not to be a braggart, but I have a lot to worry about. My fame, my fortune, my life's work in the areas aquatic. But that is not why I've dragged you to my house this eve, for I have terrible news.
Is it that whale oil baron Henry B. Lubbins III?
Lubbins? No. Lubbins will have his day. I have plans for him. But no, it's much more dangerous, closer to home. For you see...
Who wants tea?
Right in the middle of... Is this the time?
We must have tea, Hiram. What are we, circus folk?
Circus.
Anjus?
What?
It seems like you were remembering a painful memory?
No.
Oh, okay. Then let's forget about all that. Hiram, do get to your important news that cannot wait, which we've all been waiting for.
My friends, mistakes were made, perhaps.
Sounds like someone's at the door.
Ugh, there's no time for that. Anyway, here's the real important bit.
Perhaps you should get it.
I'm right in the middle of... I'm so close to getting to what needs to be said.
But it could be that delivery of odd oriental fish from that trawler you've been waiting for.
Damn! I cannot refuse the celestial finned wonders of the Orient. Excuse me. I will be right back, and then I will get to the news. It cannot wait for anything. It's vitally important and must be told without delay. Now I will be right back.
What is going on, Maryanne?
I have no idea. He has been distant, but...
Maryanne didn't want to mention that Hiram had applied to the Adventurers Club without her. "You're just a writer," he said. She pushed the memory away.
We all have our secrets. City is full of them.
Indeed. After the summer heat wave, I saw several congressmen kissing each other for no reason.
There was a reason. The Congressional kiss off their fundraiser to raise funds to fund the Mutual Fund.
Yes. The Mutual Fund teaches all the fun of funding mutual funds. They kiss long and hard for that cause.
So I guess everything is peaches.
Hardly. None of my acorns sprouted. I have no idea why.
It's the city. That's why. The smoke. It's all unnatural slag and factories filled with children. We're automated and yoked. We call ourselves naturalists and nature lovers, but we live in the most unnatural of places.
Ever since you did that tenement walking tour.
Yes, I visited that tenement, and what I saw, all those poor, stinking people with their poor and smelly traditions, we need to treat them better. That tour changed me, Anjus. You don't understand it, but you've always been cold. I'm doing more than you could know to fix this city. This world.
Such passion. It's...
What was that? That doesn't sound like the scuffle of research. I must check on Hiram.
That passion. During the Big Bird release, I'm gonna...
What was that?
It sounded like Maryanne screaming. Oh, you're already... rhetorical. I bet that was... Well, they did say rhetoric was in this season. But then again...
Eugene continued to talk about rhetoric as he headed to the front door of Hiram Blud's brownstone. But he was shocked into silence when he saw the scene laying out before him. Hiram was dead. He was...
impaled with a swordfish.
Oh, right through the heart.
He was murdered. I saw the culprit fleeing. Oh, Hiram. A swordfish. Your 87th favorite fish.
Or a small marlin. Identifying the fish could lead us to the killer. Details matter. Like how all rectangles are boys, but not all boys are rectangles.
What?
Sorry. When faced with tragedy, And this is a tragedy, a real... But also Tuesday morning is still the bird release, so... Flyers? Let me just put some on... Hiram was so excited about it, and now he'll miss it. Unless we prop him up and... No, of course not.
Maryanne. We'll find this cur. I swear by the 4 elements. We shall find your brother's killer.
This stinks.
History doesn't specify if Eugene meant the murder fish or the murder itself. But it was true. This did stink. A lot. And like many fish on the menu of a lazy chef's restaurant, this mystery would have small bones that would threaten to choke our heroes. For Hiram's murder, was only the start.
The Land Whale Murders is a Roy Gold production. It was written by Jonathan A. Goldberg with music by Matt Roy Berger. It was directed by James Oliva and mixed by Martin D. Fowler. To learn more about the show, visit landwhalepod.com. To learn less about the show, have a small piece of your memory removed and store it in a memory jar. I have mine right... what does me think of again? Oh, well, anyway, stay fishy and always watch the waves.